guys, Ashley Elizabeth here with AHM Artistry, and if you are watching this for St. Patrick's Day, then happy St. Patrick's Day, or soon to be. If you're just watching it and it's a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or whatever it is, hi, happy day. I will pop up the look right here up close for you to see what we are creating today, but it is what is on my eyes right now, and we are gonna check it out. It is a cut crease, and I show you one quick trick for hooded eyelids because yes, I have a slightly hooded eyelid, and I will tell you who I learned this trick from as well, so you gotta go check her out because she is awesome. So without further ado, I'm gonna zoom in really up close, so do not be frightened, and let's jump right into the video. Alright, as you can see, I already did my left eye, which is your right, and now I'm going to show you how I created it on the other eye. Then I will do all of my face makeup off camera, and we will finish up the lower lash line both together. So let's do this. And do notice that my eyelids are slightly hooded. I'm actually raising my eyebrows as I talk, so if I relax them, you can see a lot of my lid gets covered. So I will show you a technique that I learned from, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her channel name, but it's Demure. Her name is Destiny, I think. I'll link it down below. She has amazing tips and tricks for creating cut creases with hooded eyes. But moving on, I always just like to shout people out if I've learned something from them, you know? So we are gonna start off with the Urban Decay concealer. Any of your favorite concealers are good, and I'm in the shade Light Warm. I'm gonna place it on the back of my hand to work with it. And then I have a synthetic angled brush, and I'm just gonna carve out my eyebrow right now to really clean it up here. And then place it all over the area as a lid primer. I'm gonna take my really fine pointed tip fluffy brush and then the Sigma Creme de Couture palette. I'm dipping it into some pastel shades, these two together. Right there. If you have this palette, it's called Citron Pistachio and Almond Pear, and I'm just going to start my blend right in my faux cut crease. And I'm going to place it right up here, very high, because basically where I lift my lid up, right there, as you can see from the other eye, is going to be where my cut crease is going to go. Bringing it right down here, and then stopping there. And kind of lifting up at the same time. And then in a sweeping motion, I try to mimic the same sides. Just sweep it right past the tail of the eyebrow just a little bit. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because we're going to clean it up later. And then just going back and forth to deepen it until I'm happy with the blend, or you're happy with the blend if you're following along. Now I'm going to go in with Rollin' and Dough, which is basically just a nude shade that matches my skin tone, so whatever matches yours. And I'm going to blend out that brow bone right underneath the tail and right over here as well. And then whatever I have left over for the green on that side, go back and make sure it's very blended. Now, I'm sorry, I'm dipping into this palette again. That is not necessarily available unless you can score it at Nordstrom's Rack, but it's the Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette, and I'm going to be using Mad Hatter. No, it's just called Hatter. I want to call it Mad Hatter. And Mean, which is this bright green. So mixing those two together and packing those right on top of that same area, but not going up as high. Now this is going to look really weird, your little green tail, until we go into fine tuning and cleaning it up. So if it looks a little odd, don't worry. Now I'm going into Money Bags from the Chocolate Gold palette. And sorry if you're bored of seeing the same palettes, but my recent purchases I'm like obsessed with. So sorry you're gonna see a couple repeat palettes, but if you own the palettes, then good for you because you can see how multiple looks are done, right? So dip into Money Bags. First I'm gonna lightly blend, and then I'll go in with a more detailing brush. Okay, now I'm going in with a rounded flat tip brush and dipping right into money bags. And then I'm gonna go along that line as well. And blend out with that little pointed brush. That is that so far. Now for the fun part, let's cut that crease. So I'm gonna go back in with my Urban Decay concealer, place it on the back of my hand again, and use that same brush that I was using before, a synthetic angled brush. So this trick was totally from Demure, I think that's how you say it, I hope I'm not butchering it. She just like freaking enlightened me when I was watching one of her videos. I originally followed her on Twitter, and then I was like, dude, this girl can freaking rock these cut creases. So I followed her YouTube and I was like, oh my gosh, life-changing, cut crease changing. So what she does, if you have hooded eyes, is place it right here in the center and then stamp it right on top. Just like that. So if she can patent that move, she should, because it was seriously life-changing. And then you just have to then round it out after that. That is like the tricky part, is just rounding it out. And every eye shape is going to be different. Everybody's going to call for a different technique, so do your best. I love using the Urban Decay concealer for this because it doesn't stay super wet and like gunky. It actually dries down really matte and really fast. So make sure not to use like a super thick, crazy concealer with this. So now I'm gonna just make sure my two sides match as best as possible. You guys, it's raining here right now in SoCal, and I don't care that it makes my videos even darker. I love the rain and it needs it, so super happy about that. Can you hear it? And then now you want to bring your tail out and follow that line. And then drag it down. And don't worry if it's slightly green tint, because we're gonna first of all enhance that, but we're gonna clean it up too. So don't worry that you're taking it too far down. This is another reason why I'm holding off on doing my face makeup until after, is because of all of this. And just try to make your two sides as even as possible. Now I'm going to go in with my Jeffree Star Skin Frost Platinum Ice Palette and dip it into Alien Ice and really drag it down because we want a lot of pigment on this. So if you have that green shade and you're struggling to figure out how to use it, you can use it for St. Paddy's Day. And now I'm going to put it all over. If you're using a concealer that is super dry, you can put some fresh primer down. Just be careful not to make your eyes cakey. My concealer is still slightly tacky, so it accepts this highlighter very well. If you don't have a green highlighter, you know, just get creative. Do whatever you want. You know, obviously with anything, do whatever you want, right? But I know green highlighters are a rare breed. I'm taking it all the way over here. All the way on the inner corner right here too. Now I'm going to go back in with the money bags from the Too Faced Chocolate Gold. Sorry that cut off, but I'll tell you what I did. It's really easy and it's only one little step. I took the money bags from the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette and then I went in and intensified that area in a sweeping up motion like this, just to blend. I know that's super annoying when things cut out, so I do apologize. I need to change that setting on my camera that it stops after filming for 20 minutes. And then I went in with the Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liquid Liner in Gold Rush. These are amazing. I love them, but make sure to shake it really well before you apply it. And then as you're applying, just on that same line that we did between the two dark and light colors, make sure to take off some of the excess off the tip and then just go in very slowly, and I'll show you in just little motions like this. just like that, following the line all the way to the tail. And slow and steady really wins the race when working with your cut crease. So do not do this look if you only have 10 minutes, because this does take some time and some finessing as well. So now I'm going to go in with my Tarte gel liner and just line the top lid right here. I'm not doing a wing or anything. If you want to do a wing, you can. Since my eyes are hooded and the way I did this one, that kind of acts as my wing once I lift my eyes up. So if I do a wing, it'll just be too low for me. But if you have a lot more eye space than me, it'll look really pretty with a black wing as a companion. Okay, now I'm going to do my mascara and lashes real quick, so I will fast forward through this part. I'm going to take this black pencil and just tight line right underneath. Now I'm taking the NYX, what is this called? I just bought it yesterday. Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a turn on waterproof. That is a little bit of a long name, a little bit. And this is in this shade Esmeralda. And I'm just gonna pop it right on the inner rim. Just like that. And then before I do my face makeup, I'm just gonna clean off any kind of, you know, fallout. And then I'm gonna take this, see how that is nice and blended. I kind of blended it with the wipes, so I did that, and then I just kind of remember. When you take your concealer and foundation, just really blend it. I'm gonna go do my face makeup off camera, and then I'll be right back to finish up the lower lash line right with you guys. All right, love bugs, we are almost done. Let's clean up that lower lash line. Not clean up, let's do it. Let's do that lower lash line. And I'm gonna kind of make it up as I go along because I didn't plan it out. So let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and cleaned up right here. I just added a little bit more highlight just with this little pencil brush, and then made sure this top part was very blended and even. So just like that. I'm gonna do a blend of some greens and stuff like that with a fluffy angled brush. Can you guys hear the rain now? It's super awesome. It's raining pretty hard. I'm gonna dip into Hatter, which is a really bright green. And on that wing, just kind of gently take it out, but not as far as where you went, just a little bit, so there's some seamlessness going on. I'm going to take Alien Ice again on this little pencil brush and just really deepen up the inner corner. Blend a little bit on the lower lash line. Now I'm taking the NYX Liquid Crystal Body Liners, and may I say, I was just talking to somebody on one of my videos in the comment section about how they market these glitter eye products, eyeliners or eyeshadows, and then somewhere on the bottle, really small writing, it says not for eyes. Really, because your display has pictures of people putting it on their eyes. It says eyeliner on the display, but then you look at the packaging and it says body liner. I know they're just trying to cover their tushies, but I will say use it at your own risk in this area. So I just take it and I put it right on my finger, and I'm gonna pop it right in the center, right here. Creating that little pot of gold effect, and then you can get a more concentrated look. And just make sure to blend it out. So it's like a rainbow, and at the end of the golden rainbow is a pot of gold. Alright you guys, that is it for the eye look, but really quickly I wanted to throw on some green highlighter. Yes, we're going to take that Alien Ice from the Jeffree Star palette and put a little bit right here just to complete this St. Patty's Day look. So because I'm using this fluffy brush, it won't be as intense, except in some lighting you will be able to see it a little bit better. Alright you guys, that is the overall look. I'll pop it up right here for you guys to see all up close. I am super excited about this. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more up close tutorials like this, just let me know in the comments below or give this video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, please go down and hit that little subscribe button and join the family, join the community. Thank you so much for coming in and checking this out. You guys, thank you again so much for watching. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day or Tuesday or whenever you are watching this. And you guys have a great, lovely day.